The second quote-unquote balance pass has been released into the wild like a bewildered ape. But unlike the usual deal where it goes and hangs itself after the 5th day with no Instagram or Twitter, these changes are actually good? First things first though, developers mentioned bounty increasements starting from 4 times up to 10 times the value. In my testing, however, bounties above 80,000 credits, which usually is a good bounty, right, is only multiplied by 4. So the 10 times promise is quite misleading. Still, it's certainly the biggest quality of life update that we've gotten for combat ever. And I shit you not, ever. Additionally, developers claim that there are increases in pay made for solo massacre and assassination missions up to 2 times the pay, which both were horrifically underpaying, and still are. After that, the continued promises of making changes for combat bonds and anti-Xeno pay will be coming in what seems to be the last big balance push before the end of the year. We'll just have to see how that goes. And that's it! All good in paradise, right? Well, you did not come to me thinking that was it, did ya? I mean, what would the spectacle be without a great big dead horse beating as juices fly left and right? So, did bounty hunting need a pay increase? Yes, gods, yes. Is it to a level now that it's not total waste of time? Well, that's also yes. But is it appropriate? Well, I would say it's close. So, what is missing? You see, in my extensive testing in the past with a super heavy, ultra buffed and steroid chugging anal prolapser kind of a ship, you know, the best of the best, alone I was making around 6 million an hour. Only 6. With a ship that melts targets in seconds. Clearly, that was not even remotely comparable to even normal trading or exploration. As to now, with, let's say, more realistic 4 times multiplayer that I experienced, you can expect 24 million an hour. With a ship like that? Really? And I remind you, by all accounts, combat should be the most profitable gameplay, as it is the riskiest as you stand to lose your life where you put deliberately your life on the line. It's also the most skillful as you need the piloting skills and precision. And it's also the most knowledge requiring in order to craft a ship that is capable of taking on the targets and keep going. Though, if you do disagree with that, please write down your horribly wrong opinion and mail it to the local sewage plant, please. So I ask you, does it still make sense that even after this change, combat does not exceed 60 million an hour? Well, clearly not. Especially when mining is still crazy good, or the passenger missions like that Robigo run that I made a video about a little while back, that easily exceeds the pay in a fucking asp. And this is to say nothing about those combat missions. They are a disgrace, but for the sake of brevity I won't bore you with the statistics. The problem, as I've always alluded to, stems from far deeper issues within Elite, where you have to ask instead why people need and want this much cash or income. See, you can't raise bounties endlessly either, as there are simple yet effective methods for, well, going around it. With, let's say, a starter sidewinder who pokes a wanted criminal before they are killed by the system cops, and then, without no effort put in, just collecting the bounty. This too is a consideration one must make, well, at least for the bounty hunting to be fair. At this point, developers or whoever is just slapping a new sticker onto an old broken Fiat and calling it a new deal. While that does not solve any real issues of Elite's stagnant and what poorly can be called economy. But to truly make combat the riskiest and thus most rewarding gameplay that it should be, there has to be care and actual effort put into it to make it happen. Not just, well... And the same goes with mining in fact as well. Instead of ensuring that the top 3 things of mining commodities aren't too good, how about we examine the top, the bottom, and the middle of the gameplay to make sure that the actual balance can exist. Not just hoping that cutting off the bad bits of the slightly expired dog meat all of a sudden make this slab of flesh actually edible. Of course, make no mistake, be that with the mining or the bounty hunting, even those are steps in the right direction, and for the first time in a long time, especially with bounty hunting, you can actually say that you will go out and make money, not just chump change, by killing wanted ships. However, slapping a multiplier onto things, while direction-wise is correct, it may just be like that one scene from Fast and the Furious movies where they drive next to a train. With all these simple multipliers, you may just step right off that cliff, which granted is still in the right direction, right? So let this be a cautionary tale for the future. Though will this be reflected as something to be emulated or avoided is still up in the air. But as for now, there's a little bit more life into the combat gameplay, if you will, and it's not anymore the second worst paying job in Elite. Now it's something like the third worst paying job. So I guess it's not that bad anymore.